What if history wasn't written by the victors but rewritten by the filmmakers? Inglourious Basterds isn't just another World War II movie. It's Quentin Tarantino playing God with history, turning cinema itself into a weapon, and giving us one of the most satisfying revenge stories ever put on screen. But beneath the stylized violence, sharp dialogue, and revisionist fantasy, there's something deeper. A film about power in words, in silence, in language, and most importantly, in storytelling. So, how does Tarantino makes us sit on the edge of our seats for 20 minutes over a simple glass of milk? And why do we find ourselves rooting for brutal, almost mythic figures like the Bastards? Let's break down the hidden genius of Inglourious Basterds and how it turns cinema into the ultimate act of revenge. Cinema has always shaped how we remember history, but what if it could rewrite it? Tarantino doesn't use film as a storytelling device in Inglourious Basterds. He makes it the weapon itself. Shosanna, a Jewish woman who barely escaped death, doesn't pick up a gun or a knife. She picks up a camera. She lures the Nazis into her theater, making them watch themselves die on the big screen before they actually do. It's poetic, it's brutal, and it's a direct statement on the power of film. In a way, Tarantino is doing the same thing to us, the audience, giving us the revenge story we'll never get in real life. Tarantino doesn't just change history for the sake of shock value. He asks, what if revenge was possible on this scale? What if the most feared Nazi in the world begged for his life? What if Hitler's empire ended not with a suicide in a bunker, but in a fiery explosion orchestrated by a Jewish girl? This isn't history, it's emotional catharsis. It's a revenge fantasy, told with the intensity of a war epic and the spectacle of a Hollywood blockbuster. But this raises a question. Does turning World War II into a comic book style tale of vengeance diminishes its reality, or does it make it more powerful? Unlike the carefully calculated Susanna, the bastards are blunt instruments of revenge. They don't just kill Nazis, they scalp them, brand them, and terrorize them. They become the stuff of legend. They are not realistic soldiers, they are exaggerated, almost comic book like resistance fighters, a direct contrast to the meticulous, cunning Hans Landa. But both sides are playing a game of power, one through legend and the other through manipulation.
Oh, please, Monsieur Laverty, this is your house. Make yourself comfortable. Now, according to these papers, all the Jewish families in this area have been accounted for, except Dreyfuses. Somewhere in the last year, it would appear they've vanished, which leads me to the conclusion that they've either made good their escape or someone's very successfully hiding them. What have you heard about the Dreyfuses, Monsieur Laverty?
Tarantino is known for his sharp dialogues, but in Inglourious Basterds, he weaponizes conversation itself. Think about the opening scene. Landa isn't waving a gun, he's sipping milk. He isn't shouting threats, he's politely asking questions, and yet we can feel the walls closing in. Why? Because Tarantino, much like Alfred Hitchcock, understands that true suspense isn't about what is happening, it's about what could happen at any moment. The same trick is used in the tavern scene, where a simple game of guessing cards turns into a deadly standoff. Every line of dialogue is a ticking bomb, and by the time it goes off, we already know it was inevitable. By the end of the film, both revenge plots succeed, but in very different ways. Susanna gets her poetic yet cinematic justice, and the bastards get their brutal, hands-on retribution. But Tarantino leaves us with one final thought. Aldo Rain carving a swastika into Landa's forehead, declaring it his masterpiece. Is this justice, or is it just another chapter in an endless cycle of violence? Either way, Tarantino has made his statement. History belongs to those who tell the best stories, And in Inglourious Basterds, storytelling itself is the deadliest weapon of all. So, what do you think? Does Tarantino's rewriting of history add meaning, or is it just a stylish revenge porn? Let's talk in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.